I need to take more. My body must be using it elsewhere instead, I think.
I can't imagine you could take more.
No, me neither. But anyway, it certainly makes a big difference for where life is at. Hi, Kathy, how are you?
Good, thank you.
You're looking great too.
Thank you.
Yeah, all exciting things going forward.
Yeah, it's been a great journey.
Yeah, so far. Oh, we've lost Dr. Ahrens. He's disappeared on me. So, Ron, I'll have to touch base with you at some point in time because I wouldn't mind getting you onto a call, and I'll touch base with you about it because it would be great to. I'm not sure if you're allowed to because you and you had the pyramid before. That was a really great pyramid system that you had to explain with Emulin as to whether that's something that's able to be workable again.
It's been reworked already.
Oh, it's been reworked already?
I've been working at it, yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
Pepperdine and I have kind of reworked it.
Dave?
Ken Pepperdine.
Oh, Ken Pepperdine. Oh, cool. I wasn't
Yep.
sure where he was at in things. So that would
Yep.
be good if you guys could, because it'd be great to get you guys onto a call again. Because that was a really good system to be able to explain that. Mute as we get going. So hopefully you guys are adapting to life in the cold as it gets a bit cooler for you. For those that are on the other side of the world where it's starting to get cold. I saw Nancy Carson's post and it's snowing, and Kim Booth, and I just went, oh, my goodness. It's gone from being nice and warm to nothing, hasn't it, for you? I don't think I'd like it very much. But anyway, look, we might get started, and then I can just keep on addressing this as people get going through. But just for those that are on the call, just so that you understand, like we have had Dr. Ahrens, myself and our team have been looking at ensuring that we do everything correct for Emulin and his products going forward. So the page was put on hold for a week. We just need to make some adjustments, and we're probably going to make some future adjustments as well. For those that have put a question in, like a medical question as well, don't think that we're not coming back to you with those answers. It's just been time sensitive, that's all as well. So, going forward, we are going to be providing a lot of information, and not just from Dr. Ahrens himself or the team, but from other people, the likes of Mr. Ron Boasini here as well, and Ken, because I know that they've got a wealth of knowledge also that's only going to benefit everybody globally in regards to these products, because they've got a lot of experience there as well. So if you guys that have ventured on, if you wouldn't mind muting yourself, that would be great, and then we can get started. Are you right to get going, Dr. Ahrens?
Oh yes, I'm fine.
And then we're going to down the track find out a little bit about what Dr. Ahrens does for his personal health and well-being too, because we all want to know what the secret is to being able to maintain good health as we hit the age of 21, don't we?
Yeah, I look pretty good for 102.
Oh, but my brother just turned 60 the other day, and I told him he was 21 with 39 years of experience, so he thought that sounded okay. It's a good way of putting it. Okay. Okay, so welcome everybody to this week's call. My name's Jackie Boyle, and we've got the esteemed Dr. Joseph Ahrens with us today. And we are going to be discussing about flavonoid deficiency and how we can find the balance in the body and what we need to do to, if it is unbalanced, as to how we can use supplements to be able to rebalance the body and to be able to make us all feel a lot better by making different choices. So Dr. Ahrens, I'll hand this over to you, and you can start explaining to us so that we can all learn and be a little bit more educated as we go forward.
Well, I'm really glad to be here. Great. I've been traveling all day and able to join you this evening or morning, wherever you might be. You know, this really is becoming a really great community. And when I'm not able to be on, I miss that. But I'm certain that we've had people fill in for us that have been spectacular. I've heard excellent reports on that. You know, and also, Jackie, as I talk a little bit, pay attention, because I'm going to ask you some specific questions a little bit later on. So pay attention. And so, you know, we've been talking a lot about flavonoids, and I actually, Emulin, the product Emulin is formulated flavonoids, a number of them, and a specific ratio. But really, the important thing is flavonoids themselves. Flavonoids. Everyone is really flavonoid deficient. So let me just touch on that a little bit. What does it mean? Flavonoid deficient. And then once you are deficient, you get into flavonoid deficiency syndrome. Now, syndrome, you use that word whenever you're talking about like a group of symptoms, like metabolic syndrome. It's not one specific thing, but flavonoid deficiency syndrome, it leads to rundown health and other health issues. So a long time ago, quite a long time ago, thousands of years ago, we ate a lot different than we do now. And one of the things that we used to eat a lot of, because food was often scarce, especially as we moved away from the equator, was dark berries, you know, wild blueberries and currants, dark primitive grapes. And they were a great source of energy. That's all we knew. They look pretty. You grab them, eat them as you go, hunters and gatherers, eat them here and there. But then we started selecting them, and we learned how to cultivate them, and how to cross different varieties and come up with cultivars. And we made the grapes bigger and bigger and sweeter. This is not just grapes, but everything we've done this with, bananas and citrus. And even in their primitive attempts to make better quality, what we thought was quality food, bigger, better, produce more, we slowly started losing the flavonoids in them, because nobody knew about flavonoids. Heck, hardly nobody knows what flavonoids are today, but certainly at that beginning time, nobody knew what flavonoids are. We just wanted them to taste sweeter, sustain us, you know, have more sugar, and fill us up and taste good. So we got rid of the bitter ones and we pushed on with the sweeter ones. Well, as I said, we slowly lost the flavonoids over time. Nobody was paying attention. And now we do have very nice grapes, very nice plums. And the flavonoids are mostly in fruits, but they are actually anywhere there's a lot of color. Flavonoids. It sounds like we're saying flavor, but actually the original word means color, the colored parts. And that's where the flavonoids come from, like closer to the peel. And even in a grape that's dark, a dark berry, a blueberry, dark blueberry, those are where flavonoids are. And we slowly got less and less flavonoids in our diet. Well, this happened over a long period of time. And our bodies compensated for that somewhat. But we slowly lost optimum health. Because what we know now is that the flavonoids are responsible. Their job in our body is to regulate our immune system and to regulate carbohydrate metabolism, sugar metabolism, immune system, regulate inflammation. That's their main job. If you go to the scientific literature and you type in flavonoid or a specific flavonoid like myricetin, you can put anything else you want to as a keyword. You could say flavonoid in cancer, flavonoid in arthritis, flavonoid in IBS, flavonoid in headaches, flavonoid in muscle cramps, flavonoid in athletic performance. And there will be a scientific journal published on that particular topic, because we've now found out, particularly in the last 20 years, that these flavonoids are actually regulating those main systems in our body, carbohydrate metabolism and our immune system. Those are the two main functions of flavonoids. Now, when I first started all this research, I didn't know about the immune system part, but I did find out that through our own individual independent research, which is published, that flavonoids do regulate carbohydrate, that is sugar metabolism. Then later on, I found out they also regulate the immune system. And it was amazing what people were telling us when they got into these clinical studies. My eyes are better. We just heard that. Athletes said, hey, I can run faster. Ever since I've been taking these flavonoids, I can run faster. Or they said, I usually run until I'm tired, and that's usually a maximum 10 kilometers. But now I found out I can run 12 and 13 without getting tired. So both sides of that athletic performance, either they can run quicker, bicycle quicker, canoe quicker, or they can do it for a longer period of time. And that is because of the carbohydrate management. It gets sugar where it needs to go, into your muscles and your brain, and it keeps it out of places that it shouldn't go, like into fat storage. So athletes actually perform better. So you say, well, do flavonoids enhance athletic performance? Well, indirectly. They're just putting your body back where it was designed to be, and that means to have flavonoids in your diet. And then you perform at your optimum. It's not an enhancer. What it means is, without flavonoids, you're running below par where you should have been. So let's talk about some other things on the immune system. So somebody comes to us with, they say, hey, you know what? These flavonoids you gave me, they cured my psoriasis. I said, no, it's impossible. We can't cure anything. We don't cure diseases. What's happened is it supported your immune system. And because you did not have enough flavonoids in your diet, then your body went into like an autoimmune response, and that caused the psoriasis and the diabetes. So it appears that having flavonoids in your body cures diseases. It's not. That's not it at all. It's actually working on your immune system. It not only supports your immune system, but it's absolutely essential for your immune system to be operating properly that you have enough flavonoids in your diet. So we're really talking about having a good diet and exercise, healthy lifestyle. We're all on this same page. So if you have trouble with a disease, if you are worrying about weight management, if you have trouble with your eyes, take flavonoids. And I'll be the first one to say, any flavonoids, take any flavonoids. Take citrus flavonoid biocomplex. That's one I've seen in the health food store. That's actually quite a good complex. Hesperidin, citrus bioflavonoid complex. Well, I did happen to find out that, a group of flavonoids that we think are the best ones together. So that's why I mention Emulin so often, but I'm really talking about a good, healthy lifestyle, a good diet, and it includes lots of flavonoids. Unfortunately, because of this breeding program that I've told you about, there's just not enough in your diet. You can't get enough. You can't get enough. We were meant to consume flavonoids continuously throughout the day, and every time we found some berries, some fruit, we'd eat it at every opportunity. And they were not like, humans didn't just come across a tree loaded with the amount of fruit that we've got today. They'd come across a tree and it had little tiny fruit. You've seen wild apples and wild persimmons, and some of you wild mangoes. They're just little tiny things. Wild grapes is like as big as a raisin. So we just ate a little at a time, but all the time. And they were packed with flavonoids. You easily got your daily flavonoid allowance. So I repeat, now, not so much. You really must supplement yourself with some flavonoid whatever it is, whatever it happens to come from, whether citrus fruit or apples or pears, grapes, you need to supplement your diet with flavonoids. So that's the first, the concept is we're not getting enough flavonoids. And if you're an athlete, you need them to perform well. If you're a couch potato, you need them to perform whatever you're doing. If you have a lot of colds, you need them because your immune system cannot operate at its peak performance without enough flavonoids. If you don't get any colds, you still need them. Everyone needs them for anything they do. It's just like asking me, well, I don't have a cold, so I don't need vitamin C. Well, everybody would laugh at that. Of course you do. Your vitamin C is necessary for your body to function. It's not something that you take just when you got a cold. It has a whole myriad of uses in your body, and your body requires vitamin C. Likewise, flavonoids, they work particularly on these things I told you about, which are support the immune system and to help you digest carbohydrates. They do other things too. They're antioxidants, as an example. They have some anti-cancerous activity just on their own. But their main thing is they support your immune system. They support carbohydrate metabolism. So if you're healthy, you only think you're healthy. Take flavonoids and you'll be even more healthy. If you're sickly, take flavonoids. You'll be less sickly. So we do not cure diseases, we support the body's function. And that's the message that you should bring to everyone, that we support the body's function. I think a lot of different products on the market, and flavonoids are the poster child for support a body function. They support the immune system. They support carbohydrate metabolism. Well, now that we understand that, I hope, what about the dosing? Because that's always, I started this research first 2002, then got into it real seriously about 2007, and our first products came out in 2010. And people would tell me, oh, this stuff doesn't work. I've tried it every day, and I take 2 capsules a day, and just doesn't work. And then another person came and said, hey, you're wasting this product. I'm taking 1 capsule a day, and I've got great results. Actually, an MD told me that several years ago. He said, I take one a day, I'm just fine. Another person, 2 a day, they're fine. Some people take 4 a day, they're not fine. And I had one lady, a very close friend of mine, she believed in my work, and she took 4 a day every day for a month, and nothing's happening. And then on the 5th week, boom, it happened. Her body kind of turned on to those flavonoids. The reason for this variance is because everybody digests food, including flavonoids, the absorption, a little differently. Some of these flavonoids enter your bloodstream very quickly, and others enter very slowly. It also depends on what is the pH of your stomach and what's the pH of your blood. If we check the pH of everyone's blood here, it would be close to pH of 7, but some people would be 6.5, some people would be 7.5, and that affects the absorption of flavonoids. And also, some people naturally have a resistance to flavonoids coming into their blood, and others don't. And, that's just like any other product. Like some people can absorb alcohol very easily and others can't. That's how our makeup as human beings. Now, my family personally, we get along fine. We take 2 a day, a capsule of these flavonoids. And when we think we're going to get into cold season or something, we bump it up to 4 or 6. Go through cold season, then we drop down to 2. But that's not how it is for everybody. In addition to the absorption rate, people have not had these flavonoids in their body since birth, usually. They should have, but their mothers didn't eat them, so it's not in the breast milk. And then as babies and as children, they didn't eat enough. Not only did they not eat enough fruits and vegetables, but remember, there were not enough flavonoids in there anyhow. And if you all of a sudden dump flavonoids into the body, it's like saying, wait, what is this? What is this? And, the body is very sensitive. It wants to keep out bad things, and it wants to take in good things. So it slowly kind of looks at those flavonoids, they're new in your bloodstream and in your body, and it regulates on how fast they enter. And if you take too many, some people take too much too soon, they'll have a wreck. Their body just has to adjust to it. For those people, they should take a little bit at a time, and then a little bit more. Over a week, bring up to 2. After maybe the 3rd week, be on 3. After the 4th week, be on 4. If you want to take a lot of them, build up slowly. Now, some people can absolutely just down 10 capsules with no issue. Some people can't. So I suggest that you can try to take a bunch at once, not a lot, like 2, 3, 4. And if you're doing fine, then you can slowly increase. Because some people, because of poor absorption and because of some health issue they're dealing with, they need to take a lot, at least for a little while they're dealing with these issues. Other people do not need that at all. They can take as much as they want. And some people can just take one and get fantastic results. So that's why there's a little misunderstanding about how much we should or shouldn't take. On the products that we make that are recommended by Dr. Joseph Ahrens' group, we say that, at the current rate, you ought to take a couple of capsules. But if you are experiencing some health issue, you should take more until that is well managed. And this is, Jackie, where I'd like to bring you on here if you wouldn't mind joining me. And I'd like you to tell about when you first got on Emulin and how it was not very good for you. It was unsettling to your body, but you learned how to adjust that and to your current dose now. So could you enlighten us that on your own personal experience?
Sure, Dr. Ahrens, and thank you. Look, I started taking Emulin nearly 4 years ago, and I'm dealing with 6 chronic conditions from birth. And this, again, is my personal experience on this product. And when I did start with it, I was on a lot of medications, so 14 different scripted medications as well. So what I found when I started taking 2 a day, and I just found that it wasn't doing a lot. I increased to 4. But what I found for me, because I was on a lot of medications and with the symptoms that I was dealing with the conditions, it created a lot of imbalance in my body. So I was getting like a knee-jerk response, as I refer to it as, that I was getting headaches, I got a bloatedness, I just felt really unwell, and I just thought, gosh, this is not a good feeling at all. That subsided, but it still wasn't assisting me in regards to what my body needed. So I gradually, what I found, I started on Emulin M, and then I came back to Emulin C for a month, and I found that transition just for that first month, just in the variants, in the actives that are in the product, assisted my body to be able to allow my body time to find balance. And I did 1 month of Emulin C, and then I transferred back to Emulin M. I gradually increased it to where I take 8 a day now. That's what my body needs. And I do find that if I travel or if I am struggling with a few things within my body, then I increase it up to 12, sometimes 14 a day. The great news to me over the period in time being is that I no longer take any scripted medications. I was recently just in hospital a couple of weeks ago for a regular thing that I had done through day surgery. And the great news being is that my surgeons have told me still that this supplement is supporting my body, that internally, that on presentation, visual presentation, that what they were seeing for 25 years prior to it is still presenting as a completely new internal look for them within my bladder. So I'm able to maintain the symptoms of what I have within my body, but I do adjust it. So, if I'm feeling okay, I'll allow it and drop it back down to 6 a day. So I do vary it all the time, depending on, and I'll saturate it, increase it, decrease it, depending on how I'm feeling. And as I said, I'll take up to 14 a day if I need to, for up to a 10-day period, and then drop it back to that 6 to 8 a day as well. And it's just, I found it made me really sick to start with, because my body just did not like having the refined carbohydrates chaperone through more efficiently than what my body was used to, even though I am really regimented on how I eat, what my exercise is. But I also found that the sugar controlling of the sugars was really created a lot of symptoms that my body wasn't happy with because of the medications I was on at the time. That's all disappeared now. So for me personally, I just play with the dosage depending on what my activity is, and as Dr. Ahrens said for themselves, depending on whether I've got a sniffly nose or if I'm going to be travelling, because it's pretty taxing for Australia to go anywhere. It's a 24-hour flight. So I find I actually come back better, in better health when I've been overseas than what I am when I'm home, because I've saturated my system for that short period in time. So that's been my experience with it, and I'm certainly a lot happier for it. I'm not fixed, healed, or cured. I still have all of those conditions, but I'm able to assist and support my body by managing and changing the doses, by being able to change it on a daily basis. And it is pretty important, as I've started with other people too, to ensure that they start slow if they are in the same similar conditions to what I was.
Well, I thank you for that personal testimony explanation. You're certainly somewhat of an unusual case. You're actually a poster child for these flavonoids. But, you know, most people will do well on 2 a day, but they may just be able to, they might need to start out at 1 a day and then eventually work up to 2 a day. And then if you need 4 or 6, like Jackie does, slowly increase it little by little. Now, the difference between what she was talking about, Emulin, M and C, was that M has more quercetin in it, and some people tolerate that very well and others don't. Nevertheless, you need to start on those. So the vast majority of people, I'm talking 60, 70%, they're going to just be able to take it right away and take 2 capsules. But of course, the ones that I hear from are the ones that are having difficulty and they want to know what's going on. Either it doesn't work or they have an upset stomach. Well, in that case, I say, look, stop it. Just cut it entirely off and then come back a little capsule by capsule until your body adjusts it. It's just like any food. If you just start taking a brand new food, your body will reject it and your whole digestion will change. Take it a little by little, build up over maybe a month. And those that say, it's just not working for me, you need to take more. You're unfortunately someone who does not absorb flavonoids readily, and you just need to take a lot more of them. So Jackie, that's really, I think I explained that whole thing there, whether you're an athlete or a couch potato or young or old, everyone needs flavonoids. Everyone needs Emulin. And if you are very healthy, you still need it because you're actually not as healthy as you think you are. A lot of people that say there's nothing wrong with them, well, they still have a couple of colds a year. And when they break a bone or something, it does not heal as fast as it should. If they had enough flavonoids in their body, when they did do things like have an injury, a cut, broken bone, they'll find out that it heals in half the time. And they'll also find out they're having less colds and flu over the years. So everybody needs Emulin. And as I said, it does not heal anything. It does not heal any disease. But those people with arthritis, the flavonoids will support their immune system, and that will, in its turn, take care of the arthritis. So Jackie, I'm glad to take any questions. We might have a couple of questions. We're about into the half an hour.
Yeah, I'll just add to it, Dr. Ahrens, and this is a personal testimonial as far as my husband's concerned, because he's been a professional athlete all of his life, and he's in the professional athletic field now as a coach. And one of his fellow colleagues that he works with is a doctor, and he was also a professional athlete as well. They both take 2 a day. And the difference being for them is that they've been beaten and bashed all over the paddock for years, being at the highest level that they possibly can as an elite athlete. And it's just made a huge difference for them in being able to manage, again, the symptoms after being a professional athlete of being hit, having arthritis, having even cholesterol and things like that for them, that their symptoms have been certainly improved for them, of where I look at my husband being 61. And if I didn't know his date of birth, Dr. Ahrens has met him. He's got a body for a 61-year-old that looks like a darn 25-year-old. And, you know, that's what he's noted. He had a surfing accident about 18 months ago and just got thrown up onto the rocks and was bleeding, had hematomas, all sorts of things. And just through the support of being able to manage his inflammatory levels, his recovery period was just remarkable. And he also had a complete, 2 complete knee replacements. And he was up surfing within 6 weeks again, which was quite impressive. Even the doctors were quite surprised by it. But his mobility was certainly, he was a healthy person and he watches what he eats. And he also watches what he exercises, what he does on a daily basis. So he's highly, very fit. But it's just the recovery for him with the assistance, the support for what his body needs as a professional athlete still. As a mature, I'll call him mature, athlete has just been quite amazing, which hopefully will answer a lot of questions when we talk about athletes, which is what you were saying before, Dr. Ahrens. But we must have answered nearly everybody's questions because nobody's got any firing at us. So is there anything else that you would like to add, Dr. Ahrens, before we leave this call?
Well, you know, weekly we're trying to address issues, people with their diet, health, and we're expanding our coverage and trying to include all aspects of health. But, you know, if people do have questions and if they have some they think of later on, remind them that they can submit them to the blogs and we'll get to them eventually. And I think, Jackie, it's a great idea. Maybe once a month, we'll accumulate questions and answer them live.
Yeah, we did discuss that. As I said to you earlier before we started recording, was that I think I'm just putting the email link in there for people to send through their questions to. But once a month we'll do a Q&A, and so if you've got questions, we'll advertise in advance and make it just a regular call, and then that way just once a month we can answer questions and we'll ask you to submit them through to that link. And then that way we can answer them for you, and you'll be able to have the questions and we can share it with everybody that way. So hopefully that's going to help everybody understand what these supplements have the ability to do for people in changing their lives. So Dr. Ahrens, I want to really thank you for everything. I'm not quite sure if you've got anything else that you'd like to add, but as ever, I always learn more and more all the time whilst I listen. It's amazing how much when you hear it over and over, that a little bit more just keeps sinking in all the time, where you just remind yourself and you go, oh, okay, that's right, I remember that. So I never get sick of hearing you share this story and listening to it from a different perspective. It just adds to what the ability that these supplements have in being able to support and assist the body and how essential that they are for everybody in our daily lives.
Thank you. I'm glad to have been here, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Dr. Ahrens.
Thank
Pleasure,
you.
Antoinette. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let me
Thank
know.
you, Dr. Aaron. You the best.
Thank you.
How do I get out of here, leave?